Hey friends, so recently I did a challenge where I drew something for 1 minute and then I drew it again for 10 minutes. It led me to realize like I could do something kind of cool, something kind of fun in just 10 minutes. It's very low pressure. It's actually a lot of fun to do, and I want to share that process with you in this video. So again, this was just a 1 minute painting and I decided to do this character. Again, it wasn't anything like crazy serious. It was just something for fun. But as I saw the clock winding down and I timed myself, I realized like, wow, you're really racing against the clock, and you're just trying to think of like what are the most important things, brushstrokes to get down. What's the most important thing that I have to lay down in order for this to make sense by the end of it? It's kind of like this Incredible Hulk kind of character, and I just had some fun with it. But it really, I think, kind of helps you loosen up and helps you not kind of think about things. And again, this is not supposed to be like a masterpiece, but I think it's a really cool exercise. It's something that I almost want to try doing this as an exercise before starting to draw or paint for the day. Like this could just be really fun, and I could maybe try something that's a minute long, maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, things like that. So then here I jumped into the 10-minute drawing. So this is a little bit more time, but the idea that I kind of started this after a 1 minute drawing, a painting, even that was helpful. Like, again, this isn't groundbreaking stuff, but it was helpful because now I'm thinking, okay, now I got 10 minutes. So after doing that 1 minute thing, and I'm thinking, whoa, there's not really a whole lot of time to do much in a minute. Now I'm thinking, okay, I've got 10 minutes. So I still know that I'm working off of a limited amount of time. But where originally, when this idea kind of entered my head, originally I thought like, wow, 10 minutes is really not a lot of time to do anything. After doing, and to be completely transparent, I did those 1 minute paintings. I did like a couple of them. I think I did like 3 of them first, just to kind of like, because it took me a while to figure out how much is actually 60 seconds, how much is a minute. But after doing that, once I started this, again, in the beginning, I thought, wow, 10 minutes is really not a lot of time. But after doing a minute painting, 10 minutes feels like an eternity. You're like, well, I got a bunch of time. So it gave me a better kind of, like a more positive outlook on this 10-minute drawing. I was a little bit more excited about it. So, but still knowing that I'm on a short amount of time, it kind of helped me stay focused and be like, okay, I want to finish this. I want him to at least look like some sort of a character. It's not going to be a masterpiece, but I want it to at least look like something. And so that was the approach here. But this was a lot of fun. Again, and seeing that I could have this much fun in just 10 minutes made me think like, man, I should be doing, honestly, I feel like I should be doing at least one of these a day. But I know that some days are busier than others, and we all have busy lives. But even just a few of these a week then, at the very least, it could be so much help. I mean, and working with a time constraint like this, I feel like it really helps you with speed. So this was a really, really cool thing. I think you should definitely give this a shot. You should definitely try this. I hope that you like watch through this, but like 10 minutes, I mean, seriously, like we all have 10 minutes that we can do. And I really do hope that you give it a shot. I'm very curious to see what your results are. And so I hope you share that like in the comments below if you do try it or if you intend on giving it a shot. I know I've been doing a few challenges lately, but this one, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite one. I'm really, really happy with this. Not so much with the results, but just like, I mean, I was happy with the results and surprised with 10 minutes, but I was just really, it was more than what I was expecting. And I think that this just helps you in general as an artist, I think it's not going to make you a masterful artist, but there's so many things to consider in building up your work and your craft as an artist. I wanted to kind of take this time as a, hey, like, paint with me and stuff. I wanted to take this as an opportunity to maybe also talk about something else. And it kind of goes with a video that I recently shared. It was a short, it was Instagram reel, where I shared like a quote from Neil Gaiman. It's a really cool speech that he gave, where he talks about make good art. I feel like if you just search "make good art" on YouTube, you'll find that speech. But he talks about making good art and about like being confident in the work that only you can make. And I know that can sound kind of I don't know, just maybe cheesy or something, but there is a lot of truth to it. One of the most common questions that artists ask me is, how do you develop your own style? You know, and even looking at this painting that I'm doing here of the Hulk, this like really rough drawing, I can see where a lot of the things that I've just learned from before, from different painting different things that I grew up watching comics, like drawing from comic books. So that was a big influence for me. And so that influences a lot of the creative decisions that I make today. Now we all grow within the time, within, the years that go by. But that was an influence for me, and I still see some of that in my work today. So I just wanted to kind of quickly talk about that because a lot of times we think like, how do I develop my own style? What do I do? And it's like the less you think about it, the more your style will kind of develop. I think we're focusing on the wrong things, and a lot of times, if you think about it, you have several things in common with several different people. You have a lot of different like things in common. You might have similar color aesthetics, like you like the same kind of color palettes. Maybe you like the same kind of music, similar upbringings. Maybe you experience, good and a rough childhood like other people did, or maybe it was an awesome one, or maybe it was somewhere in the middle. I think that's usually the case for a lot of us. But the point is that nobody has the exact combination of all of those experiences that you do. And even if you experience something very similar to somebody else, the way that you reacted to that thing is completely different than the way they might have reacted to it. Now, what does all of this have to do with art and your style? It's just that all of these experiences, all of these things combined together, that is where you end up getting your inspiration from. Things that you've experienced, places that you've traveled to. Yeah, they might be similar to many other people, but not in the exact same way that you experienced it. And even if you traveled somewhere, the exact same place with a friend, your experiences, even though you went together, let's say, they could have been completely different. You could have taken something else from it that they didn't. And the way that you as an artist take that experience and translate it down into paper, into a painting, that's going to be completely different than the way somebody else would do it. So I would say if you're thinking, if the thought that's entering your head is, how can I be different? I think that's actually when it results in sounding like everybody else. Because you're thinking about how can I be different. And to me, thinking about how can I be different is an indication that you're not being yourself. Like you just draw inspiration from the things that inspire you and don't be ashamed of them. If you like 80s music and that inspires you, don't be ashamed of the 80s music, If you're a Christian and you're inspired by your faith and you want to draw things that are faith-based, that are inspired by what you believe in, a lot of times I know so many people, they've like messaged me and say like, hey, that they're worried about drawing and painting and sharing too much about their faith. And I think that when you do that, that hinders your style, your creativity as an artist. Because when you put your authenticity into it, when you really reach from within, like everything that the Lord has put in you, and you just let that flow out of you and out onto the canvas without any constraint, I think that's when you're going to have the most authentic, original style, because it's going to be you. It's going to be the authentic you. And you're really pouring that into your art. But a lot of times we're afraid to do that. We're either afraid to do it, we're embarrassed by it, we don't think people will like it. But that's when you're going to be most excited and most inspired to draw and paint, is when you're really like allowing yourself to kind of tap into that and pour that out into the canvas. So anyways, I hope that that makes sense. Um, Again, we're kind of drawing this 10-minute thing here. It was really, really cool. It was a really fun process. We're getting to the end of it now, down to a minute. And I remember, when I was doing this, at this point, I started to think, okay, a minute. We're down to the exact amount of time that I had when I did the first one, the 1 minute painting. And so here's where I really started to kind of like, okay, I got to touch up on certain things here and there, and try to finish this thing off. I didn't really get it to where I wanted it, but what I did do is that after the time was up, I ended up finishing the piece anyways. So I kind of, the timer was up. I called it done, when it went off, when my time was up. But then I decided it was so much fun to do that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to finish this piece anyways. And so this right here is what the final piece looked like. So I did some extra things to it. I kind of tightened some stuff up. But I did want to show you, like, here is the 1 minute. And then here is the 10-minute. And then this is just me putting a couple of extra minutes into it. I think I probably put maybe another 10 minutes or 5. I can't remember, honestly. But I put some extra time into it. So anyways, that's it. It's really not a lot. I think that you could really, again, just 10 minutes a day. I feel like that's doable. And even if you don't do it every day, maybe just try to do this a couple days out of the week. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. I think it's going to kind of push you to improve your painting skills. I'm sure that there's probably other areas and things that you need to like kind of learn. We all have them. So this isn't what I would say, like, this isn't what's going to be what's going to take you from beginner to master level. But this is a really, really cool exercise. I think it really helps you kind of develop a new habit. And again, I know that I've shared some other challenges that I've done recently, but this one was really cool. It's a very simple one, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun. So please give it a shot. And if you do try it, let me know in the comments below if you're thinking about trying it. I do hope that you enjoy it and get something out of it. I will see you on the next one.